Welcome back, everyone, to The Deep Dive. Today, we've got a really interesting mix of sources. We're looking at astrological guidance for today, November 11th, 2025, also a 4-month cosmic outlook, and even a folktale that ties it all together. Our mission really is to weave these threads into something actionable, something about growth, but maybe not the kind we usually think about, more about patience and balance.
Yeah, the core idea that keeps topping up across all these sources is this mandate for stillness. It's like a call to hit pause on, chasing the next big thing. Instead, the focus is inward, deepening what you already have.
Exactly. It's that less is more idea, but applied right to your life's direction. The fundamental message we pulled is that real wisdom, it doesn't always come from grabbing more territory outside yourself. It's often about understanding, really mastering what you already hold. Shifting from being, let's say, outwardly driven to internally resonant. Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting with today, November 11th. What's the immediate advice? The practical stuff, right? This seems to be the setup phase. The guidance is pretty clear. Small steps bring the big wins today. Focus on patient edits, not huge, daring leaps.
So if you've got some massive project brewing or a brand new idea, today's not the launch day.
Definitely not. The sources are explicit. Use today for planning, refining details, and honestly, a bit of rest, the time for that big push, the hands-on work, it's coming. But today, preparation, maybe even purification.
And that gentle, refining energy. It actually extends to relationships, too, which is kind of nice. The sources mention conversations softening. So if there have been little misunderstandings lingering.
Okay, so it's a good day to smooth things over without it blowing up.
Seems like it. A good window for low stakes, constructive connection, fix the small stuff.
But there's a catch, isn't there? Especially later today in the evening. Something about tension.
Yes, there's a potential point of friction noted between how we're presenting ourselves externally and what we're actually feeling inside. That gap between the public face and the private need.
Okay, so that tension, it's not just random stress.
No, it seems to be purposeful. It's like an alert system. That friction is signaling that something needs to be seen, acknowledged, maybe released, especially before the new lunar cycle kicks off next week. It's asking, where are you carrying weight you don't need? Maybe emotional baggage or, obligations you said yes to but didn't really mean.
That makes sense. So the daily advice is basically about clearing the deck, getting ready. But we need to zoom out, right? Because November 11th isn't just one day of planning. It's the start of something much bigger.
A whole 4-month cosmic journey, yes.
This is the macro shift. Jupiter stations retrograde today. And this runs from November 11th all the way through to March 10th. Now, Jupiter, normally we think expansion, luck, opportunity, right? Pushing boundaries. So when a planet like Jupiter goes retrograde, where does all that outward energy actually go?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the energy doesn't just vanish. It gets redirected, and pretty forcefully. Retrograde motion basically means the planet's energy turns inward. It demands review, reflection. So the mandate for these next 4 months, growth needs to be different. We're expanding the inner world, not the outer territory.
Okay, so instead of building more, we're renovating.
That's a great way to put it. Think of it like this. Jupiter usually wants to build a bigger house.
Right.
Outer expansion. When it goes retrograde, it's like stop construction. Then 4 months going through every single closet, check the foundations, ask yourself if the furniture you've accumulated even fits who you are now. The goal, the sources really emphasize this, is to become wiser, not just acquire more stuff or spread yourself thinner.
That sounds like a huge opportunity for some honest self-assessment, like asking yourself, did that growth I chased recently, did it actually cost me something important? Like meaning, did I take that promotion just because it looked good, even if it felt draining?
Exactly that. The sources are quite direct about it. Sometimes the biggest step forward is actually pulling back, reconsidering, recognizing that not all expansion is true evolution. You might even realize your best move is to shrink some commitments to increase your internal bandwidth.
And the specific placement here matters, doesn't it? Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. Cancer's all about home, security, nurturing emotional foundations.
That placement totally reframes what growth even means during this time. The mandate becomes about nurturing your current sources of fulfillment, making sure the seeds you've already planted, that they're actually rooted, healthy, and bearing fruit for you.
So it's a definite shift, emotional wealth over just material gain or external status.
Absolutely. This 4-month window is kind of a lever. It gives us the power to maybe let go of old beliefs, judgments, behaviors that are actually undermining us, not supporting us. The core question shifts to something like, are you emotionally solvent? Is your inner home secure?
Right. So we should pause the relentless push for more outside validation and actually check in on our emotional well-being. Is this maybe why the sources say issues around home, boundaries, caretaking, they might bubble up now?
They absolutely will, especially if you've been overextending yourself consistently. It's like the universe, through this Jupiter shift, is forcing you to look at your internal safety meter. And that leads directly to that really insightful point the sources make about generosity.
Yes, that it's powerful only when it doesn't drain us.
Precisely. Think about it. If you're saying yes to everything out of guilt, or maybe fear of what others think, that's draining generosity. It depletes you. But if you offer your time or energy because you feel genuinely full, you have a real desire to give from that place. That's powerful generosity. This period demands we get really honest about which motivation is actually driving our giving.
That makes the guidance feel much more concrete, much more practical. Okay, and there was also that fascinating note about access. Deeper access to the superconscious. What does that mean here?
Right, in the context of Cancer, which governs home, memory, roots, the superconscious here isn't just like a dry psychological term. It points to a more collective, intuitive layer of memory. The sources talk about it as where ancestral echoes live, the raw feelings of the inner child, even shared collective experiences. Because Cancer connects to our deepest roots, this retrograde makes it easier to access those primal emotional memories. It helps us see where maybe our current fears or patterns come from, maybe even inherited stuff, and consciously choose to act from the heart instead. But it requires quiet, stillness.
Okay, that's a lot of deep internal work to really ground this whole idea, the stillness, the non-draining generosity, the danger of just relentless motion. We have the story scope for today, the tale of the Lotus Moon and the Silent River. Here's where it gets really interesting, I think. So the story introduces Mei-Lian. She's the daughter of the river guardian. Her job, keep the river flowing strong for the villages downstream. Prosperity depended on it. But Mei-Lian, she got caught up in ambition, wanting to prove herself. She became obsessed with motion, expansion.
Uh-huh. Believing her value was only in making the river wider, faster, stronger.
Exactly. She kept pushing the waters, forcing growth, thinking effort automatically equals progress.
And the result? It's a perfect, if chilling, illustration of what this Jupiter retrograde warns against. By forcing growth beyond its natural capacity, what happened? The river got murky, churned up, unhealthy. The fish disappeared. The lotus buds, symbols of purity, potential, they wouldn't bloom. And the current became wild, destructive, tearing away homes, flooding fields, its ambition completely detached from wisdom or balance.
It shows the devastating external cost of an internal misalignment, doesn't it? It's only when she's totally defeated, weeping by this chaotic river she created, that she encounters the Lotus Spirit. And the Spirit delivers the core lesson. This is really the heart of our whole deep dive today. Quote, "You have mistaken motion for growth. You have forgotten the stillness that allows the waters to heal."
Wow, yeah. That quote, everyone should probably write that down. Put it somewhere visible for the next 4 months. The Spirit teaches her that real strength isn't in speed, it's in balance. Like the moon and the tide, that reliable rhythm. You have to let things breathe, trust their own pace. The guardian's job isn't to command, but to listen to the river.
And guided by that, Mei-Lian finally stops pushing. She stills her effort. And for the first time, the river settles, becomes like a mirror. And what does she see in that stillness?
Her own reflection, looking utterly exhausted.
Right. And it's in that moment of seeing her own depletion, her weariness, that she accesses those deeper memories the sources mentioned. The ancestral echoes. She remembers her parents teaching her patience, teaching her to listen to the current, not force it. The healing had to start with her, not just the river.
That moment of reflection, maybe even grief for her own exhaustion, that's the turning point. It lines up perfectly with the Jupiter retrograde mandate. The inner work comes first. So the water clears. Mei-Lian transforms. She becomes the lotus keeper, tending the banks, setting boundaries, offering wisdom based on real balance. And the ultimate wisdom she gains, the lesson for us, is that generosity is strongest when it does not empty the heart.
And that what nourishes others must also nourish the self.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
And the final image is just beautiful, isn't it? True abundance, sustainable flow. It comes from within, nurturing our inner well-being, our emotional home. It makes our lives clear again, like the river.
What's fascinating here is how all these pieces of the astrology, the story they layer together, they act as both a warning and a guide. You've got Jupiter retrograde saying pull back from mindless expansion. You've got Mei-Lian showing the disaster of overextending. And the daily advice saying, use this time for patient refinement. Focus on the foundation. It's all one message.
So the application for you listening right now.
It really centers on those cancer themes. Home, safety, boundaries, emotional nourishment. How do you know if your recent growth cost too much? Check that internal safety meter. Is your home life stressed? Do you feel drained, not nourished? Or your boundaries constantly being crossed, maybe even by yourself? If you're exhausted but keep saying yes, that's the cost. This retrograde is basically forcing us to patch the leaks in our own energy reserves.
So this 4-month period, it's genuinely an invitation, an audit almost. Check your emotional boundaries. Make sure your giving isn't actually draining you dry. It's about moving away from actions driven by fear, like the fear that if you stop moving, you'll lose everything, and moving towards action that comes from a place of, well, health, self-care, knowing your own resources. If you feel that frantic urge to do something, maybe pause and ask why. Where's that coming from?
And building on that idea of accessing deeper layers. Remember what the sources said about this time. It's potentially a period of incredible deep access. They specifically mention the veil thinning between your conscious mind and those deeper wells of memory, the ancestral echoes, the inner child stuff. Accessing that kind of emotional wealth, that wisdom, it requires stillness, patience, not frantic activity. This is your time to listen. Listen to the quiet whispers of what truly sustains you.
So as you move into this period, this time of, let's call it, necessary retreat and refinement, here's a final thought to maybe chew on. If the river's real strength, its clarity, comes from stillness and balance, where in your life right now, even in the small things today, might you be mistaking relentless motion for real sustainable growth? That's the question we'll leave you with.